Coach's Call-In Show by Sosa. Since 1974, Haynes Total Healthcare has been proudly serving the Chillicothe community and surrounding counties, providing exceptional care to over 50,000 patients every year. Whether you're seeking chiropractic care, physical therapy, or nutritional guidance, we've got you covered. From athletes to seniors and from pediatrics to geriatrics, we treat patients of all ages, helping you live pain-free, stay active, and feel your best. With a place in the top 1% of clinics nationwide, you can trust that you're in good hands. We're open 6 days a week, ready to serve your family for years to come. Haynes Total Healthcare Center, where healing happens for every stage of life. Call for an appointment today or visit us at hayneshealth.com. I'm Jeran Cox, and joined with me tonight, as always, is Matt Hoops here to my left, and Christian Spradlin across from us running the board. And you know, Matt, it's March, and it's still basketball season, and that's ultimately what your goal is as a player or a coach is to still be playing when the calendar turns to March.
Yeah, that's right. And, we have a lot of teams still left. Obviously, with the expanded divisions of 7 divisions, that helps some. But at the end of the day, that's, the goal is to be playing in March, and there's a lot of teams that still are. So that's great for our area. Yeah,
let's take a look at some of these teams, and we'll talk to some of the coaches about this later, about how the state semifinals, they're not actually at Dayton. They're kind of a neutral site in between the two opponents, and I'm kind of down on that, but we'll talk about that later. So, first team we got playing still is Fairfield Union, Division 4 girls basketball, 27-0 in the Final Four. They're playing Archbishop Alder. We were talking before we came on the air. They're 18-8, but finished 4-6 in their conference. That's kind of a weird dynamic,
right
there.
Fairfield Union girls, very successful volleyball program over the last few years, and obviously carries over to their basketball team. So I think they got a good chance in that first one.
Yep. You go to D5 girls, you have a third matchup between Portsmouth and Fairland, and we're going to talk to Coach Amy Hughes here in a minute. But the OVC is going to be represented in a state championship game. Those two teams are going to square off at Logan High School. Portsmouth won those first 2 matchups.
Yeah, both close games, I think. But who knows what's going to happen a third time.
Yep. Then the powerhouse, TVC Hocking, Waterford, reaching their 8th Final Four appearance in 9 years.
It's amazing. That is crazy.
That is unbelievable. Flipping over to the boys, we're going to have a few Unioda boys in studio here in a little bit. Unioda still playing 22-3. They're going to take on Caledonia River Valley, not the River Valley from the TVC. This Caledonia is up north. They're 23-2. That's going to be a good matchup for those guys also.
Yeah, definitely not the same River Valley that a lot of people, I think, have mistaken for who it was. But went and watched them play the other day. Very good team, very similar to Unioda, maybe a little taller, maybe a step quicker, but that's why they play the game, so we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Also in that regional, New Lexington, MVL, I believe, they come in at 15-10, and they're going to play Maysville. It seems like Maysville traditionally
last
year
couple
in, year
years,
out.
I think Maysville was in the Final Four last year, actually, so good program over there.
Yep. D5 boys, Minford, first district championship 30 years. They're going to play Sugar Creek Garraway.
Yeah, congrats to Coach Shoemaker and his group. Obviously going to talk to those guys here in a little bit, playing a Garraway team that's always in the regional tournament. So they'll have their hands full, but I'm sure they'll be ready.
Chesapeake also in D5. Chesapeake coming in at 22-3. They're going to take on Martins Ferry. I was telling you before we came on, Coach, Martins Ferry comes in 14-11 and 0-5 in their conference. So that's another weird dynamic right there.
Yeah, it's you wonder how many of their conference teams are still playing.
It must be a tough conference, right?
Yeah, but five league games.
Yeah,
well, that is weird conference.
That may be wrong, but according to Max Prep,
0-5.
Yeah. D6 boys, North Adams, 20-5. They're going to play Monroe Central, and then also in D6 boys, we're going to talk to Coach Lice later from Beaver Eastern, 22-3. They're going to face off against Cardington Lincoln.
Yeah, North Adams, I think it's their 3rd straight district title. Powerhouse in terms of, usually at the Sweet 16 level year in and year out.
Yeah. Then you go down to D7 boys. Portsmouth Notre Dame came in the number 2 seed in the Southeast. 19-5. They're going to play Steubenville Catholic Central in the regional. And then the number 1 seed team that, we talk about maybe has a chance to win it all, South Webster. 20-3. They're going to face off against Patriot Prep. So,
yep. Obviously, I mean, you read through all of them, well represented, one if not more than one in each of those. So,
absolutely.
You know, it's good for our area.
Absolutely. So, we're going to take a quick break. When we come right back, we're going to have Portsmouth girls basketball coach Amy Hughes on the line. Welcome back to the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show by Sosa, also sponsored by Glow Fiber. Internet services for tonight's show are provided by Glow Fiber, delivering speeds and reliability that keep up with every need. From streaming and gaming to business demands, give Glow Fiber a call at 1-833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiber.com. Joining us now is Portsmouth girls basketball coach Amy Hughes. And Coach, I know when we talked to you, I think it was the first show we had this year.
Yeah,
we asked
back
you
in
what
November.
asked you what your goal is, and you said state champs, and here you are. You're in the Final Four, and you know what a journey it's been for your Lady Trojans this year.
It sure has. It's been but it's really been fun, a fun a fun journey. So you know, the girls, they love to play, and we have some big lofty goals for them, and they love to achieve them. So really am proud of the season they've had, and it really has been a fun year.
So, Coach, you got a whole week off in terms of preparation. When's the last time that you guys have had that? It's had to have been a while, isn't it?
Yeah, we had some time off over Christmas. We had about 2 weeks time frame, and we only had like one game in a 2-week span. So it's not something that we like to do, but I mean, we have done that before. So,
Coach, before we start diving into the upcoming game, I was going to ask you about this. I'm not really a big fan of it personally, but you know, Final Four matchups, you guys are playing at Logan High School. You know, we were talking off air. It would have been nice maybe if for me, you guys get to play at maybe the Convo or like another college campus or whatever. Just kind of what's your thoughts about, you know, playing at Logan High School or like a neutral high school site for a Final Four game?
Well, they did move the game to the Convo, so everybody
good.
gets their wish.
There we go.
Thank
Yep.
goodness.
So it is at the Convo. Yep.
Okay, same time,
Saturday,
same date?
Saturday at 4:00. Yes. Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, every kid, you know, when you think of the Final Four, obviously up until this year, you just think of families coming together, going to the games for the whole weekend and watching game after game. And I know we can't do that with the 7 divisions, but the fact that they're going to make it, I would say, a lot more special by hosting it there. That's huge for your girls, and that's something they deserve and should have the opportunity to do. So I'm glad you said that.
Yes, my girls are really excited to play there.
Yeah, that's you know, I always felt like when I was in high school, getting to the Convo, that was the goal, right? Because you know, we were D3 boys, and Coach, you were too, and so you had to get to the district, and the regionals were there too. So it's a special place to play, a good atmosphere, and yeah, like you said, I'm glad that got changed for sure. So
yes, yeah, they are too.
yeah. So upcoming game, you guys going to face off against Fairland, which in my opinion, that kind of sucks too. But I guess the one thing is we know at least one team from the OVC is going to be represented, but you guys knocked them off twice this year. First time 67-49, and the most recent matchup 47-35. You know, are you in favor of playing a team a third time, and kind of, you know, what's your feeling kind of going into this game?
I would just say we're just happy to be where we are. We're blessed to have had the season that we've had. My kids are, I mean, I really have a good group of girls. I really have a great coaching staff. And we really have a awesome community that, I mean, really just loves watching my kids play basketball. They play hard. They're energetic. They have a lot of enthusiasm. So I think we're just excited to play. We're proud of what we've accomplished. Like I've just said earlier, we have higher goals, but we're really thrilled to still be playing in March, and being in the Final Four is definitely one of our goals, and something we have accomplished. So I think it's just excitement. It's not really like who's playing or when you're playing or where you're playing or what time you're playing. It's just really an honor to be playing, and we're really just, I mean, we had a great practice today. The kids just love being there. Uh they're for each other. Really they are a family, and we're proud of what we've accomplished, and we have a couple more games to reach our ultimate goal of winning a state championship, like you said.
I think the one thing, you talk about your kids just love playing and they love the game and stuff like that. You could see the excitement and the enthusiasm when they got the dub cam the other day.
Oh, their personalities. You can't stop their personalities. There's no point to even try to stop them. They have so many different personalities, and honestly, they're really exciting. I mean, they really are good kids, and I mean, I always say one of the um, highest. I mean, Sienna Allen can jump out of the gym, and one of the biggest jump she had all season was when Kiki made a layup in a big game earlier in the year, and up at Logan on Saturday. Haven Carter, one of the things she was really enthusiastic for a kid that had just fouled or wasn't having a great game, and she's over there like, you'll be okay, two high fives, like, you'll be okay. And I've got Deja Reed, who just absolutely loves life. I mean, she would give anything to win a state championship, to spend her whole life in the gym playing basketball with these kids. She just enjoys life, and some of those things. I mean, we have just great kids. We have all kinds of examples of how giving they are, and how team oriented they are, and so it really I'm just proud of the kids that they are, and the personalities that they have, and so I'm really just proud of them and happy to be their coach, and really we're just thrilled that we're still playing basketball in March. So
Well, Coach, what's like? How do you? I mean, and they were excited today. Probably got the news that they moved to the Convo. Practice was great, and this is one of the toughest things to do. Is how do you plan on kind of maintaining that for the next 4 days? Because like we talked, you haven't practiced for 5 straight days since around Christmas break. How do you kind of balance that and get them? Obviously they're going to be ready to go on Saturday, but how do you make that practice week kind of flow?
competition. I mean, just the competition in practice that we face every day. There's not any downtime where you could be bored. You couldn't be bored in our practice. You're always competing. There's always some sort of game going on, and so there's really no time to be bored or stress about anything, because there's always just something happening. So I don't think we'll have any problem maintaining their focus or their intensity.
Yeah, Coach, the other thing I was going to talk to you about, and I feel like this is true about basically all the teams that are still playing right now in March, but I feel like the teams that are still playing, they can play and win like different styles of basketball. Whether it's like an up and down type of game, full court press the whole game, or most of the time when you're still playing, you obviously are really good in the half court too. And
Yeah.
yet you guys have played, a heck of a schedule, like not just the OVC, but I'm talking like non-conference games too. And just talk about, you know, some of the games that you've played that have really kind of prepared your girls to play any style that's you know that needs to be played that night.
I think you're exactly right, and I think that's why we play the schedule we play. We have faced, full court man. We've faced full court zone. We've faced pack it in. You know, anything that you can imagine defensively, we faced it this year. Um, Also, on the flip side, we have played numerous defenses to win games. Same for us. I mean, sometimes the press wins us a game, and sometimes packing it in wins us a game, and sometimes just straight up man to man wins us a game. So we have a lot of experience with multiple defenses, and we have faced multiple defenses. So you are right. Our schedule, our practices, what we do in the summer, everything has prepared us for this season and this moment and the games that we've played and the games coming up. So.
Yeah, the other thing I was going to ask you about too, you guys were, fortunate enough to make the state tournament last year, and do you feel like this year, making it there, maybe there's like a little bit more sense of confidence, or that they're ready for this moment, maybe more ready than what they were last year?
Yes, I do. I do. Last year, maybe we were just a little young, maybe a little inexperienced for that, maybe type of game or that type of atmosphere. And again, I think we've put ourselves in position um, to be ready this year. Again, the away games we've played, the competition we've played, some of the home games we've had, we have put ourselves in position that I feel like we're a pretty veteran team, and we're ready to go.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, you got anything else for her? I mean, I
No.
feel like she's hit about every point we wanted to talk about. And
Yep. Obviously, best of luck this week,
Yeah.
and hopefully we'll talk to you the following week in preparation for a state title game.
Okay. Thank you guys very much. Have a good
all right,
night.
thanks, Coach.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of caught me by surprise. I think maybe everybody by surprise that first week when we interviewed her and asked her about goals and state champs. And,
Yeah.
she kind of put it out there, but
I think maybe though with the type of team that she had coming back and all
Yeah.
the pieces she had from a team that made it there last year, she, what else was she supposed to say? But a lot of times coaches won't put that out there like she did, and they put it out there and they chased it, and they're in the position they want to be in. So hats off to her and her program and her kids, and I'm really excited that they get a venue like the Convo to be able to play a state Final Four
Yeah.
in instead of a high school gym.
that's
I just think it's so important, for not only just for the kids but the entire community. It's got to be special. Obviously, it is special because you're one of the 4 teams left. But man, the atmosphere is what really it makes it very memorable when you're playing in a big time atmosphere like that.
Yeah, I mean, you just looking back, like at my high school career playing, and probably yours too. That's probably one of the biggest things I remember is, man, I got to play in the Convo. I got to play on a college court, and it meant something. Right?
Absolutely. And I think that I remember it was, I think I was in 6th grade. It was the first time Unioda made it, and then they made it 3 straight years. And then by the time I got to my freshman year, we were kind of young, and I don't think we weren't supposed to make it that year, and we found a way to get there. So we ended up playing there all 4 years of high school. And I was talking to Blake about that earlier in the week before they went down there, and he was kind of asking me about it, and he was like, kind of didn't realize that how lucky I was to do that for 4 straight seasons. But it's just something about it. The drive there, you look up there and you see all the people, not just from your school but from the surrounding areas that are there to watch it. Just a special time. And yeah, I'm just like you remember almost everything about that.
Yeah, I remember, just being about the 6th grade and watching all the Zane Trace teams play before me. Chris Beard, Greg McCullough, Nate Jarrell, and Nate Strauser, Richard Larson, and some of those guys. Just man, I hope I'm able to play there. And it is what it is. But I think that the one thing that going back to her goal of state champs, sometimes it takes a lot of luck to get there too. Like, maybe there's an upset along the way and whatever. But
that definitely is. That's so true. I mean, I think if you follow any path of a state champion, they've had something go their way at some point, or a team that maybe was a bad matchup for them. Maybe they got knocked off and they don't have to play that matchup. So it's, you have to have some luck to make it, and you have to have some luck to win it, obviously.
Yeah, and I think, talking about that, like you sit there and you look at like the Unyota boys,
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah. I mean, not trying to put anybody down, but, if you go by the seeds, they should have been playing Jackson in that district championship game, and Jackson beat them earlier in the year by, I think, was it 15 or 16?
16, and it really wasn't a close game.
Yeah, Unyota didn't play well.
Not well at all.
But still, that should have been a close game, and instead Waverly upsets them. Waverly had a good end of their season, and Unyota comes out. I just thought their physical strength just kind of wore on Waverly and beat them by 20, and there they are. So, like I said, sometimes you just got to have things fall your way, and, it is what it is. So
I agree. Joining
us now is Chesapeake boys basketball coach Stephen Ader. Chesapeake comes in 22-3, and Coach, I don't think we've had the chance to talk to you yet this year on the Coach's Call-In show, but sounds like you guys have had a heck of a season. I know you lost a couple of close league games. I think maybe both of them went into overtime, if I remember right.
Double overtime, I think.
Yeah, overtime. And but you got your guys playing really well here, obviously, and you're still playing in March. And just talk about what that means to you and your program down there.
Well, I appreciate you having me on, and the opportunity to talk about our kids and our program. And it is a special thing to be able to play in the March for our team. We have two seniors, so I feel like we've got a pretty young group. So for them to be able to get this opportunity to win a district championship, I think it's a special thing for our program, for our community. I mean, we've got a proud basketball tradition, and I said this the other night after the game, but when the two head coaches before you are Norm Pearson and Ryan Davis, you've had a lot of success ahead of you. So there's big shoes to fill, and having played at Chesapeake and been a part of that tradition as an assistant coach starting out my career, just awesome opportunity to be able to give this back to Chesapeake and do that for our players and community. I'm just really excited about that opportunity, and be able to play here in March and have an opportunity to continue on is a really special and fun thing for our kids.
Yeah, kudos to you. I know back when I was in my coaching days a little bit, sometimes you never really wanted to follow those guys that you're talking about, Norm Pearson and Ryan Davis. You want to be the guy that follows them. But, obviously Chesapeake has a rich tradition of basketball, and, it's better for Southeast Ohio when Chesapeake is 22-3 and down there in the combo almost every year.
Well, that's what I actually told our coaches before the game the other night, really right before tip-off. I said, a lot of people would kill to have this opportunity to even play for a district championship, and we kind of take it for granted. I've been fortunate to have been part of some good teams as player, as an assistant, as a head coach, and to have that opportunity to be there. But it's really special. I mean, getting to play there. You just can't take it for granted because those opportunities really don't come so often, even though we feel like, we're disappointed if we don't get to do that every year. So that's maybe a little bit of a spoiled outlook on it. So we try to make sure we don't take it for granted, and that we really cherish each of those opportunities, and just really thankful our kids were able to fight through and be able to win that game on Friday was really special. So just, again, glad we could we talked to our kids about, joining the legacy, the tradition, being able to add banner numbers to a wall to join all those great players. And, I've had so many alumni reach out and just say, hey, we're supporting your guys and there for them. And just awesome to be able that our guys can kind of continue that legacy.
Yeah, Coach, you briefly mentioned, a big win Friday, and it was a really close game. I actually think Wheelersburg was leading you guys most of the game. What kind of changed for you there in the fourth quarter to get your guys over the hump and get you that win?
Well, I think our resilience, that's one word we've used a lot this year. You mentioned a couple tough losses for us in double overtime down the stretch that kept us from winning our league title. I think the ability to learn from those things and not give up, not give in. I mean, we certainly have been through some battles and adversity, and I think that makes you stronger and tougher. In that game in particular, I think we tried to kind of I would say we made some adjustments to our defense in that game, knowing that they were a quick team that liked to put the ball on the floor and drive, and knowing that they were a very good cutting team. We tried to, I would say, play a little more conservatively defensively. And then I think what that did is it kind of took us out of what we do typically that makes us successful defensively, or like we like to think we do. And I think we kind of just adjusted and said, hey, let's just go back to our normal defensive principles, be a little more aggressive, and just try to ramp up our pressure. I think that was able to kind of get us going a little bit. I think we, maybe because we were a little more conservative, we probably gave up a few more catch and shoot threes than we would have liked to have. And I think we were able to contest a little harder. I thought our rebounding was phenomenal. We didn't give up a ton of second shots. And then I thought the ball really moved offensively. We went from Maddox Kazee carrying us really early in the game and just getting us to that point. Then to have other guys, Ethan Kearns had a big, 3-point play and scored again. Philip Thacker had a nice fourth quarter for us. Obviously, Caden Perkins, the and one's the one a lot of people talk about, but just to be able to have all those different guys start contributing, the ball was moving and finding the right guy at the right place, right time.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It was a great fourth quarter performance for sure, and it sets you up with a matchup. I believe was it Friday night, I think?
Friday.
Yeah, Friday night against Martins Ferry. They come in 14-11. What can you tell us about Martins Ferry?
I can tell you that after watching a lot of film of them and talking to some coaches from their area, that 14-11 is very deceptive. And really, at this point in time, really, what does the record mean anyway, right? It's just kind of part of your path. So they've had some injuries, especially the injury to their key player that kept him out of some games that no doubt had he been in, he would have certainly changed the outcome. And he is a Youngstown State football commit. 6'6", phenomenal athlete. And it's not just that he's a big athletic body. It's a football player. He's super skilled. He steps away and shoots the ball. I don't think I've seen him miss a free throw all year. He shoots it well from the perimeter. He can put it on the deck and get to the rim. He changes shots inside with his size. They've got good length around him. And, it's kind of one of those, well, okay, you can just guard a post player. Well, no, you can't, because they hit 9 of 12 from three on Saturday night against St. Clairsville. So they truly, they're playing their best basketball. They're healthy. They're well coached, and it'll be a big test for us Friday night. But again, we're thankful for the opportunity to do it. And I will say about our guys that they have stepped up to the challenge. It doesn't mean we've always, the league didn't go the way we wanted to. A couple possessions here or there maybe change that, but our guys have really risen to that challenge, and they're excited to have it again here. I think anytime you get a chance to face a guy like this who's just a superstar, program's leading all-time scorer. I mean, it's kind of one of those like, well, let's take this on and see what we can do with it. So I love that mentality about our guys.
Yeah, and as well as I do, Coach, a lot of times when I don't want to say you guys are the underdog, but like the pressure sometimes shifts when someone has a player like that. And you guys have a lot of tradition, a lot of history, obviously, that's going to carry you guys into the convo. And another thing is you guys have got a game under your belt in there where they don't. Kind of just talk about for some of your guys playing there and the comfort level maybe that they have playing there, and how you think that may impact the game this Friday.
I think that's a big point. And, we talked to our guys on Friday last week about, hey, it's great to get here, but it's really great to win here. Yeah. And now that we've been able to do that one time, and, the other thing we talked about with them, and I don't know if this is right or not, I've been there a few times to kind of maybe try to guide them through that experience
Mm-hmm.
the first time. And none of our kids had played there before.
Right.
So we told them, you get 15, 20 minutes in the door where you can look around, take in the sights, how cool this is. And then when we enter that locker room before the game, there's no more of that. It's get it out of our system. Let's go play basketball and win a game.
No,
and,
I think
I thought we were able to focus.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I've been able to kind of, just simply because Blake and his friends are at my house quite a bit, and we talked about it, and all they kept talking about, man, we're so happy we made it. We finally made it. And then at one point I almost snapped at him and was like, listen, it's great. I'm proud of you guys for making it. Well, you know what's even better is going back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you hear Lou say the Panthers are coming back to the Convo, or the Tanks are coming back to the Convo, that's even better. And you know, have the opportunity, you know, not only to play the district final there, but the regional semi there and the regional final there, and potentially the state semifinal there. You almost make that like your second home, and it makes it a special run when you can continue to come back to a place like that. And you know, not a lot of these teams that are going to be coming in to the Convo have had that opportunity, and I just think it's just so unique, but it's so special at the same time. So you know, I'm hoping that plays a huge factor and a huge role in your guys' game Friday.
I hope so too. Obviously, you know, it's kind of one of those things when you grow up. You know, I was talking about it, maybe a little nostalgic myself, but like I grew up as a kid. You know, my dad taking me to the Convo to watch. It's funny, you talk about Unioto. Like one of my first memories is Chesapeake playing Unioto at the Convo, and Matt Combs.
Yeah, and Chesapeake got up 10 to
he
nothing.
was so good. Yeah, he was so good in that game, and just stood out, and you know, getting an opportunity to coach against him, and
that's crazy.
And you know, and I've talked to him about that since, and he's like, "You remember that game?" I'm like, man, yes, like it's one of those games that stands out in my mind. He was really, really good.
Yeah.
So, you know, those are the games that, like, I remember those. Get out of school at 3:00 and you rush. Your dad picks you up and you jump in the car. You stop and eat, and like just those trips, how fun that was.
Absolutely.
You know, kind of it burns how a special place that the Convo can be to postseason basketball. What that means to get to play there as a junior and senior on the varsity program at Chesapeake, and then come back as an assistant, and now getting to lead our program there is a tremendous honor. And just, it's so special, like you said, to kind of make that your second home. The only thing that worries me as a coach when it comes to that is, you know, you always say, well, the first game teams don't shoot the ball well there. And there's some, the problem is the last time I coached at the Convo, we faced Garraway there, and they came in and hit 12 of 16 from three.
I've been on that end of the spectrum too.
It's scary.
It's bad.
Yeah.
John Glenn came in one year, and I thought, we went and watched them. I thought, man, we got a really, really good chance to beat these guys. They hit 8 threes in the first half, and it was the first time that the state had put the running clock in, and it was on. And I told our guys, listen, I want to get out of here too, but let's please get this running clock turned off. But yeah, you're right. But we're going to hope for the better part of that, and you guys being comfortable there. And I remember just really excited for you, and I know I've talked to you a few times over the years, as you know, when you went back to Chesapeake and you took that over, and just talked about coaching at your alma mater and being young and in terms of player wise, and eventually it was going to happen, and you're right in the middle of it now, and still not all the way old, so to speak. So just really happy for you, Coach.
Well, I appreciate that, and you know, I think the guys you mentioned, that we were young. You know, when I took over, we had to throw a lot of first year guys out there, and you know, it's a process. Everybody talks about that all the time, but to see the fruits of that labor really come through here, and I'm so happy for our two seniors, Ethan Kearns and Drew Plants, who've been, you know, they've been rocks for us as leaders, and just so steady and solid. And for them, they've grown as leaders. I don't think that was something that at first was, you know, just always leaders sometimes have to develop, and as they've gone and through their senior year, they've really developed that leadership, become more comfortable. We had some great leaders last year, and those guys left the locker room. They helped us win an OVC title, and I think they learned from them. And then we just had, you know, all these other guys through the experience. You know, Carson Frecka, you know, he had a huge game for us the other night. He's going to have to be massive for us on Friday night. And take on a lot of the responsibility guarding their best player, and, you know, rebounding against him, and then scoring too as well. But you know, it's just been it's been really fun to see these guys that have gone through those processes just kind of be able to step up here and get a win at the combo, win a district championship. I think for a lot of those guys, it was sort of a, we've had to trust and build and keep going and listen to a lot of the same messages for 2-3 years. And look, here we are, kind of coming through now. It's a really neat thing to see it, just to watch them celebrate Friday night. It was emotional. It really was for us. So we enjoyed, my family and I really, we shared a good moment on the floor, and thankful for my wife and son and daughter. They were able to be there and just support us, and just all of us share that. It was a fun night.
Coach, I'm going to have you fill in the blank here, and then we're going to let you go. In order for Chesapeake to be successful Friday night, you have to blank.
Oh, boy. You're asking probably maybe the most pessimistic person in the world at times when it comes to this game. Boy, that's a loaded question. It's a good one, though. So I could say two things. I think we have to limit Reese, their best player, and his opportunities, not let him dominate the game. But I think I'll just simplify it. And the main thing we really preach to our guys all year is just, we have to be who we are. And at the end of the day, I think we have a really talented basketball team. And maybe I would value, our abilities against what others might say. But I really think at our core, we're just a gritty bunch of guys that are tough, and we'll work and fight to prove everybody wrong if they say something against you. And at times I think we don't always play to that. I think we sort of like test the waters of, well, maybe we can just get away with doing it this way. But man, when we turn it on, second half of the Eastern Brown game, probably like you said, it was late fourth quarter in the game on Friday. I love who we are, and we just have to be locked in for 4 quarters. So I'm just going to leave that as we just have to be consistently who we are for 4 quarters, and I think we can be just fine.
Yeah, don't go away from that, Coach, man. It got you this far. You're there for a reason. Don't change. You know what I mean? You just lay it all on the line, and whatever happens, you can live with it. But I would be my message too. Don't be someone you're not, and really buy into who you are.
That's great advice, and I appreciate that, and certainly something for our players and coaches all to try to follow.
Yep. Good luck, Coach, and get a couple wins, and maybe we'll talk to you again next week.
I hope so. Thank you for your time.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Good luck, Coach.
All right.
Appreciate it.
We're going to take a quick break. We come back, we're going to have some more coaches and players lined up on the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show. welcome back to the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show by Sosa. Matt Hoops here to my left, Christian Spradlin in front of us, and we are now joined on the phone by Minford boys basketball coach, oh my gosh, Josh Shoemaker. About lost my mind there for a minute. And four of his senior basketball players: Miles Montgomery, Bennett Kaiser, Jackson Shoemaker, and Cade Glockner. And Coach, before I flip you over to Matt, you guys had a really good game against Zane Trace the other night. I was interested to see how that game was going to go. I know Zane Trace had 4 guards, and I really felt it was just kind of like your consistent full court pressure kind of bothered them, and you hit a couple big spurts there, a couple 8-0, 10-0 runs, and really I felt like that was the difference in the game.
No, absolutely. They came out hitting threes and moving the ball well. We came out flat, and maybe these guys can tell you why they come out flat every game. I don't know why. They're terrible at the beginning of the game.
Terrible pregame speech, probably.
Yeah. Thank you. There he is. Yeah, they're gonna give me the business too. So you guys but no, and then we go out as soon as we're down 12-7. They start pressing up a little bit better. Some of them they're just getting a feel because. And then if you're going to shoot 1 of 9 from 3, you better play some defense. And I think that's probably the biggest difference between this and a couple other years. It don't matter how we're playing offensive. This year it starts on the defensive end. We attack, we rebound, and and that's just what they do. We like to make the games ugly when we can, and that hopefully, like you said, get you into some spurts, and we try to make runs.
Yeah, I think that. When the first quarter ended, I think Zane Trace was up 15-13. I was just sitting there. I was watching the game with my dad. Of course, I went to Zane Trace, and he used to coach there. And I looked at Dad, and I said, "This isn't good." Zane Trace played probably about as well as they could in the first quarter, and they were up by 2. And I just thought it was really good for your guys. They really at the end of the first quarter came back, played well, and you got to be tickled to death getting the school's first district championship in 30 years.
Yeah, the thing is, I think that the biggest thing was, the past couple heartbreaks we've had there, and this is a senior group now, got them locked in this year. Don't panic. Don't worry if you can't hit threes. Get the foul line. Get to the rim. And that's kind of was their mindset. It starts with, these guys here of no excuses this year. Get it done.
Yeah, Coach, I was there watching it, and I was watching it unfold, and I was kind of just sitting there waiting. And you spoke about defense. I'm like, it's going to happen, it's going to happen. You could almost feel it, and I can remember it was 23-20. You guys were up, and then all of a sudden it was 29-20. 3 straight steals, 3 straight layups, 29-20. 9-point lead heading into halftime, and that ended up being the difference in the game. And I just felt like that little stretch, that little spurt right there, distance you guys enough to allow you kind of just to relax a little bit and just play the rest of the way out.
That's the key. If you're going to press, build the lead, and it makes it harder, to come back when we can do that. And we feel comfortable playing behind early, but we want to build that lead and then go from there. And we got smart enough kids to hopefully take care of the basketball and get good shots and just let the game play out.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll ask or talk to a couple of your seniors here first. Let's start with Miles and Bennett. And first of all, congratulations to both you guys getting, district co-players of the year, and that's pretty special, for kids being on the same team. And just talk about maybe what it means to you two guys, senior year, being able to get that win, get over the hump for Minford. What does that mean to you guys?
It means so much. I mean, we put in the work throughout the summer and through the spring playing AAU ball and stuff, and it's just nice to see it all pay off and to go and win a district championship. It's a goal you have at the start of the season, and to be a district co-player of the year, that's just something we've worked for, and we're just so blessed to have it.
Yeah, it's just something that's been awesome to accomplish for the community, not only us. It's just we have turn-away crowds almost every week, and it's just awesome that we were able to go do that for them. And just the awards we won on the way, it's just been a blessing, and then we're just thankful. Give all the credit to our teammates because we wouldn't be there without them.
Jackson's Coach Hoops here.
It was a big part. Yeah. A huge part.
Jackson, tell your dad to be quiet just for a second here. Coach Hoops, I just got a question. What has it been like playing for your dad? Because obviously I know the answer when I asked my son this. So just kind of talk about that. Obviously there's some good times. There's some tough times. I kind of just explain it and then explain the feeling of winning a district title together.
First of all, it'd be better if he was just a better coach in general. Really,
Yes. Man, you guys all think alike.
Yeah. Playing with these guys since I was younger. I mean, we played Gus Mackers and didn't really need his coaching then. So, I don't really think we need it now. Yeah. We've had our good times and bad times. But, it's been a lot of fun, and I'm just so blessed to play under my dad. So.
Yeah, good answer. Good, well-rounded answer.
Yeah, I'll make it sound like everything's good. No, probably senior night because everyone knows me and Jack. He'll look at me and I hate it when he looks at me. I'm like, quit looking at me. I didn't turn it over. And people think he's trying to get my approval. No, we're arguing, and it's all the time. And usually the kids separate us, but probably senior night. I can't remember. It's always we'll fight and then we're good when we leave the court. But all the seniors are giving me a hug, and then Jack shoulder checks me. Everyone's just laughing. Or like that summed up our player-coach relationship right there.
Yeah, it's love-hate. Yep. No, for sure. Like I can remember, I'd take Blake out of the game, and after the game, he maybe turned it over 2 times in a row. Got a second foul in the first quarter, and his comment is, "You're literally the worst coach in the world."
Yeah, it was actually the same thing. He had 2 fouls that night, and I took him out earlier. What are you taking me out?
Yeah.
I'm allowed to sub you whenever I want.
Yeah. In fact, you're going to be lucky if you get back in.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was a conversation we'd have all the time. We'd be like, why'd you take me out? Well, did you take the trash out last night? No, there's your punishment. Sit down. No, in all seriousness,
we always
man.
said the running joke is, I'm going to run my mouth and Jack's just going to knock me out. When the game's going to continue, they're going to slide me over to the side and just keep on playing. They'll be fine without me.
These guys are so young, but they'll just they won't even know what I'm talking about. They'll just prop you up there on the bench like weekend at Bernie's, and you'll just be sitting there as the game's going on.
No one? What?
Oh, you're crazy. No, Kate, are you out there? What? Is Kate there?
Kate. Yeah, what's up?
Kate, kind of just talk about your role on the team and how special it is, and how's your roles increased over the years to finally bring Minford a district championship.
Oh, yeah. Me personally, I think Miles and Bennett, they don't get at least 20 if I don't pass the ball game. I know there's some games that I don't score, but that's just because I'm just passing the ball. They're calling for the ball. They're jacking every shot they get. So, but yeah, to play with these guys, it's fun. I play my role. I know what to do, and they make it easy.
Yeah, everyone loves Bennett's dunks, but behind that is Cade's assist. No one ever talks about the assist or the perfect lob. It's always the dunk, We practice lobs with Jack. They're not as pretty, but Cade can definitely throw good.
The true basketball
we're really
fan.
Mad Nova Southeastern and West Liv are getting Cade as their lob man. He's pretty ticked about that.
True basketball fan will appreciate the pass.
Yep.
Well, let's see. I haven't looked at your schedule. When do you guys play again? Next Friday?
We play Friday, and we play Garaway. They've been in the regionals. I think it's 8 out of the last 10 years.
Yeah.
They know what they beat Coshocton, who we kind of thought we would see in this high school tournament basketball.
Yep.
They got upset. They got Coshocton into a style that they didn't want to play, where they were, very good pack line team, very physical, good football team. Their stud, he had 30 last game, 33 before that, 47 one time this year. And then they're built with a lot of just solid football kids. Big kid underneath going to Furman as a quarterback, Division I. Another kid's going to play in college football. So they're going to put a lot of athletes around a really good player and beat on you and play good pack line defense and just hard-nosed basketball.
Coach, I talked to Coach Hughes about this earlier tonight and talked about it's probably the first time in a long time that you've had an actual week off to practice leading up to a game. How are you guys going to approach that?
it's not good for me because I come in here and they're shooting full court shots, just these four, and Jack's flapping around, and there's a lot of free time, and think long, think wrong. So we did love the short tournament play. Didn't have the 7 or 10 day layoff, but it's good on getting. Today we walk through, get a good scout, just kind of look at them. Brand new team, still dealing with little minor injuries, nothing big. Everybody is. So you got a couple days to feel good. But the crazy thing is, you don't want to look ahead, but if you do win Friday, you play Sunday, so you jump right back into boom. So it's definitely interesting this year. But when we're in it this far right now, no excuses. Just lace them up and play. And teams are what they are. Just hopefully that day we execute a little bit better and pay attention to detail.
Coach, what you talk about Garraway having a stud. What type of style do they play? Are they like you guys, where they're going to play a full court game, or I know a while back they really tried to slow it down a little bit. What type of style of basketball do they play?
It's kind of exactly what you said. They're kind of an old school, Tom Barrett kind of old Wheelersburg teams where they're super physical on defense. They're going to fight through screens. They're going to try to out physical you, rebound. They rebound very well. They play a little quicker. A couple years ago, I think they knocked off Wheelersburg, possibly in the regionals, where they were more of a spread you out cut. They're a little transition now because, like I said, you got a couple of football guys who can get out and run, but they're not as skilled wise as what they were 2 years ago, passing and cutting. But they'll still go four corners. If they did Coshocton the other night, if they're up 4, they'll pull it out the last 90 seconds of a quarter, and they're comfortable with it. And they play that style. I always used to say, talking about, playing the old Norton teams. When he didn't have as much talent as Oak Hill, it's still dangerous because you'd be down 4 and you felt like you were down 15. Mm-hmm. Just because they're going to, it's 1 and 2. When teams are stalling, it's hard when you think they're going to attack. Like when you're pressing, you think someone's trying to attack you for a level. When a team's stalling, you try to pressure. What do kids naturally do when the pass is made? They jump off ball and get closer to the ball. Well, not if they're stalling. You got to stay on the man's and eye, really get out at them. So you got to change how you think on, help side, on swipe recover, on just about everything. So stuff we got to drill in this week to make sure it's going to be a huge pace game. We won't play our pace. They won't play their pace.
Yep.
Whichever pace. If the score's in the 30s and 40s, if the score's in 30s and 40s, they're going to be a lot happier. If we're up in the 50s, 60s, 70s, we're going to be happier.
Right. Is that game in Athens again? Or?
Yeah. 4 and 5's in Athens, 6 and 7's High Dominican.
Okay. So good for you guys then.
Yeah, absolutely. We played there.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have lived there for the last 4 years.
Yeah, finally won, where we want to be now. And so hopefully take that confidence and go in there. Funny thing is, I always talks about it's a shooting nightmare there. It is for us. But for whatever reason, I don't know if it's our defense or anything else, teams always shoot it well against us from 3. Zane Trace was 9 of 24, hit 3 big threes there last part of the fourth quarter. So hopefully our tide turns. We hit a few more shots from the outside to make life easier.
Right. Are your guys still there? Are they sitting there?
Yeah.
This is for any of you guys. What's it like now? I don't want to say the pressure's off of you, but the pressure's off of you. You finally got the monkey off your back. You got a district title. What do you anticipate this week being like? And any one of you guys can answer this now that you kind of, I don't want to say you're playing with house money, but you kind of are. Obviously, you have more goals out in front of you, but now you're able to kind of just breathe and go play. What's that feel like?
No, I mean, it's awesome. That Zane Trace game was probably one of the hardest basketball games we've ever played as a collective group. It's just the overall pressure of, since this is it for us 4 or 5 seniors, like we didn't get it done this year, and everyone's been saying like we've been the 1 seed the past couple of years and all this. It's like, what do we have to show for it in the tournament? But finally we got it done. So it's just awesome to play freely and less pressure.
No, yeah. This is our last year, and we know when that final buzzer sounds from now on out, it's the last time we'll all play together. So that you kind of have that mindset going into that game, either each game from now on out, and you just want to try to play as hard as you can, and you're just not ready for it to end.
Yeah, honestly, I think though for you guys, I mean, it could be scary because you guys are as good as you are and as good as you've been, and that was with a tremendous amount of pressure from the outside. Now you kind of eliminate that outside pressure, and I call it good pressure. You guys are going to put good pressure on yourself now because you want to extend your season for each other, and you want to make it go as long as you can, but you don't have to deal with that. The kind of that outside pressure. Now the pressure is all good pressure, in my opinion. So, I'm really looking forward to it, and I think it could be a really scary thing because you guys are kind of even more free to play, the way you want to play and how you want to play.
This pains me to say, but that's actually what we had talked about in the locker room. So you're spot on. You're right. Kind of smart, and in a sense, we went around the room and said, "How do you feel?" And the overall collective thing was relief.
Right.
You finally get to take a deep breath and say, you guys are good.
Yep.
You're good. Now go out there and play, and actually go out there and play loose. Go out there and have fun, knowing like, hey, whatever. I'm going to, we said if shoot or shoot, if you're open, hit them. And it's kind of one of those things where they don't have to worry about, well, could this cost my team a district title? Because I saw that in a couple of our guys. We weren't telling them to shoot or not to shoot, but you could just see where they were kind of, maybe we can get a better one. And that's okay in a sense. But now it's like you said, everybody's going to be really good from here on out, bigger, faster, stronger every week, if we have a chance to keep on going. So just play your game, boys, see what we can do.
All right, Coach. Well, we appreciate you calling in and talking to us tonight, and wish you the best of luck. And maybe you get, another win or two, and maybe we'll talk to you again next week, maybe about a regional championship or playing in the state semifinals. So, again, thanks for calling in and talking to us tonight.
I appreciate you guys having us. Thanks for all the support.
All right. Mm-hmm. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
I think the one thing about, no matter who you are, if you're playing against Minford, as I got to watch them against St. Trace, is there's no time to rest or relax. I mean, they're in your face. They're going full go 32 minutes.
And it's almost I'm saying this from an opposing coach's standpoint. When I'm playing Minford, I'm talking to my coaching staff about how valuable our timeouts are. And we can't care if we have timeouts late in the game to come up with something. We've got to maintain our composure and not allow that 2 steals in a row to lead to 3 steals.
Right.
Because that could be the backbreaker of the game. I feel like you gotta stop Minford's momentum almost when it starts. And if it's using 2 or 3 timeouts in the first half, that's what it is. But they're a dangerous team, and like kind of Coach Shoemaker just talked about. Those guys have had pressure on them since probably their sophomore year, expected to win a district title and weren't able to get it done. Well, now that's gone, so they're ready to roll.
Yeah, it is, and sometimes when you play that way, it's a good thing, but it can be a bad thing too. Like, as well as it can go, it can also go turn south real quick too. So
exactly,
that's the nature of the call, I guess. So, all right, joining us now is Coach Leist from Beaver Eastern. Coach, you guys come in at 22-3 this year, obviously having a really good season, district championship. And, just talk about what it means for you guys to get that district championship under your belt.
Well, it was really cool. It was a cool atmosphere yesterday in Athens, and that was good for our community, good for our boys. Like you said, they've had a phenomenal year, and just a special group of guys to coach. And it'd been since 2012 we had won a district championship at Eastern, so to be able to accomplish that for those boys and for our community, I thought was just really special and cool. So just that we'll never forget, and just proud of the boys. They've showed a tremendous amount of heart all year long.
Yeah, let's talk about all year long, because I was getting ready to ask you. Obviously, you guys 22-3, but you've played a really good schedule to get you here, and just talk about we were talking to some of the other coaches earlier about the teams that are left playing now. That they can win multiple styles. They can win multiple ways, and just talk about some of the games this year that you've played, that you've had to play different to get your guys to this point.
Yeah, that's a great point. We've had some really good ones. We've had some really bad ones, couple. We've had some in between. One game I was listening to you talking to Coach Shoemaker and the boys from Minford, and as you guys know, that's a special team and fun to watch. Got a lot of respect for them. That was a game where they came into our place, and we said, okay, we had just played at Oak Hill the night before and really had spent all week prepping for them because that was going to be a huge conference game. Minford came in and we're trying to prepare for them on a back-to-back, and it was just very difficult. And, we told our boys we're going to have to be disciplined. We're going to have to execute. And we did not do those things. And so, it was really difficult for us to suffer a loss like that in the midst of a really good season. But we told the guys, there's going to be a point, maybe a couple weeks from now, maybe next game, where you're going to play a team that's not necessarily that caliber, but a team where you're going to have to be disciplined. You're going to have to be able to execute, be under control, maybe slow the tempo down a little bit. And I thought that was a good lesson for us. And we ended up playing a Northwest team at home for the basically came down to league title that game. And I thought we were much more under control. We guarded well. We ran our sets, controlled the tempo of the game. And so I thought it was a good lesson for us. So as you guys know, great teams or good teams, really good teams, you're able to use the bad performances to make you better. And I really feel like each of the bad performances or losses that we had this year came at an important time for us to learn.
Well, and that's a great point, Coach. But for that to happen, you have to have great leadership and great guys on your team that are willing to basically look themselves in the mirror and say, okay, we didn't get this done and why, and then say we're not going to allow that again. So kind of maybe just talk about a couple of your guys that kind of took the reins, obviously followed your lead, and made sure the rest of the guys followed suit.
Yeah, I mean, we have multiple guys that I could talk about. Obviously, Tucker Lice ended up being league player of the year and district player of the year for us. He's just an energy guy, plays hard all the time, plays at a high pace. Declan Davis, another senior, transferred back here. He's originally from here, transferred back here this year from Piketon. He's been huge for us too. Those guys are leaders in the locker room. And, at times it's hard, dealing with, 16, 17-year-old boys. But when you have guys that can kind of be an extension of the coaching staff and sit down and meet with them and say, look, fellas, we got to lock in here. And for them to be able to be that voice to the rest of the locker room is huge. So those two guys have kind of been, I could talk about any of our guys, just a good group, and really the ones that have, helped us steer the ship.
Well, Coach, you got Cardington Lincoln coming up here. I guess that's Wednesday. They come in at 20-6, and I'll be honest, I don't know anything about them. So just talk to us a little bit about what type of style of basketball that they play, and maybe what you think they're going to try to do against you.
Well, they do what we've done well at times this year, but probably even better than we do. They like to get out and create points on turnovers and make you pay for long misses and turnovers. So they like to play fast. They're athletic. They're quick. They've got a lot of skill, a lot of talent. They've got a couple guys that really stand out. One of them is just a flat out knockdown shooter, and the other is a little bit of more of a slasher. And they have kind of a 6'5", 6'6" rim protector. So they've got a little bit of everything, and they're going to be a tough matchup for us. But this will be a game where, we don't want to go away from who we are. As you know, Coach, and I'm sure you guys know, sometimes when the stage is the biggest, that's when we tend to go away from who we are or the things that we believe in. We don't want to go away from that. We want to continue to take advantage of opportunities, get out in transition, make them pay for turnovers and long misses. But we also have to be mature and disciplined enough to, when we don't have numbers, slow it down and get a great shot and take advantage of the possession. So it's going to be a test. It's going to be a test of our maturity and discipline, but I think our guys are ready, and I think they look forward to the challenge.
Yeah, I think it's a great position for you guys to be in as a program, winning your first district in 13 years. But and you mentioned it, and I would echo that all week long, Coach. What are they now? 22? 22 wins is 22 wins, and you got those playing to your strengths. So there's no reason to go away from that now and fight like crazy to not allow another team to take you out of what your strengths are and who you are. Just be yourselves and throw it all in and see what happens. I'd like your chances.
Well, I appreciate it, Coach. And to kind of add to that, the two things that we have preached all year and the things that I really believe in are defensive rebounding percentage. We tell our guys we want to rebound 75% or more of the other team's misses. We feel like if you can do that, you're going to put yourself in a really good spot. And then the other thing is stringing together stops. Some people call them kills. Yep. Some people call them turkeys. We call it turkeys. But Coach Buzz Williams at Texas A&M, a guy I highly admire, he preaches those two things. And I think it's huge at the high school level. If you can rebound 75% plus of the other team's misses and make that a priority. We're not great at it, but that's why we stress it so much. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing is just stringing together stops. If you can do those two things, you're going to give yourself a chance no matter who you play.
How many turkeys a game are you guys shooting for, Coach?
We want to get eight. We believe, I like 8 to 10, but
and that's 3 in a row, right? 3 in a row?
3 in a row.
Yep.
Anytime you can get 8, we believe you're going to win most of the time.
You're going to win.
What's the
so that's what we shoot for.
What's the counter word there? I mean, you were talking about turkeys on defense. How about scoring 3 times in a row? We got a term for that?
Well, I'll tell you what,
come
Coach,
up with one.
I'll tell you what, every team's got 1 or 2 guys that can put the ball in the basket. Mm-hmm. But if you can get all 5 guys that are on the floor, I believe, buying to getting stops and coming together and getting stops, I think that's where the money's at. Because I feel pretty confident in our offense most of the time, but you can't hit lulls. That's what gets you beat in the tournament.
Right.
You can't hit lulls defensively. So.
Yep, and I think if you add those together too, you're talking about giving up only 1. You allow 1 offensive rebound for every 4 shots. That's
Correct.
not very many. And a lot of times those other 3, if you're getting them, those are leading to easy baskets, especially with the amount of threes the teams take now, long rebounds, layups on the other end. It's it's a great offense to play great defense, in my opinion.
Correct. We agree with that, Coach.
All right, Coach. Well, appreciate you taking the time to talk to us tonight and wish you guys the best of luck. And sure, you guys play Wednesday. If you win Wednesday, you come back Sunday. Is that an OU, Coach?
Hi, Dominican.
If we win Wednesday, I believe we play Saturday, unless I got it wrong. I'm so focused on Wednesday, but I'm pretty sure it's Saturday, and I'm pretty sure they're both
at Ohio.
They're both at Ohio Dominican. Yeah.
Okay, I got you. But
yeah.
All these divisions are playing different places. They're just throwing me off all over the place tonight. So
I understand, Coach. It's a lot different this year.
It is for sure. So, well, wish you the best of luck, Coach, and get a couple wins, and we'll hopefully get to talk to you again next week.
Yeah, great talking to you guys.
Yep. Good luck, Coach.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have some Unioda boys basketball players in the studio with us. Joining us now, we have a trio of Unionota boys basketball players: KB Perkins, Blake Fitch, and Blake Hoops. And Coach Matt Hoops is sitting at the table with them. I'm in the back here, but I'm trying to get all three of these guys on. But I guess this first question I got is more for KB and Blake Hoops. We talked to you guys earlier in the year, and you talked about your senior year, and one of your goals was to get the convo, and you guys did that, and now you're going back. And just talk about, maybe how special that is for him to say, and the Tanks are coming back to the convo.
Yeah. Since we were younger, middle school, like freshmen, we always talked about, like, that was a goal. Like, we want to play there. And, we fell short last year, and finally being able to get there and play, it was special for us three seniors. But, yeah, winning a game was a lot better than just playing there, for sure.
Yeah, I think before the game, I remember we were sitting in class, and I texted our group chat, and I was like, guys, I want to hear them say tonight, thanks for coming back to the convo. And we were all asleep on the bus, and we were pulling into Athens, and it was weird. We all woke up at the same time, and just seeing the convo, it woke us straight up. Like, it was awesome. And then just running out of the tunnel and playing on that floor, it's just the greatest feeling ever.
Yeah, no doubt. And then, I think that the one thing that for all three of you guys and really your team when you were playing Waverly, I felt like maybe your physicality kind of took over the game. Like, as the game was going on, I really felt like, KB strong inside, Blake, you were playing strong inside. And I thought, Blake Fitch, you started out struggling shooting a little bit that game, but you didn't force it. You let it come back to you. You posted up. And just talk about, the work that you guys have put in just in the weight room and becoming mature as seniors and how that's really paid off for you guys.
I think a lot of us in the off season were really busy, but we did find time to get in the gym and just work on our games and just become a closer team. Blake really took lead of that group, that younger group, because, it's the only sport he plays, but I just think in the off season, a lot of us, they took it really seriously and they really did the right things, and that's why we are where we are right now.
Yeah, just like Blake said, I know I'd go in sometimes and work on myself and my injury, and I just hear the balls bouncing in there, and Blake was in there leading the younger classmen, so just seeing that just made me realize, wow, I'm a senior, and I was in the same spot they were, working hard like that. And just seeing that kind of just motivated me to get back and make this run with my team.
Yeah, I knew that was why they were all playing football and he was dealing with his injury. That was a big role for me as becoming a leader for the younger sophomores and freshmen. That played a huge role in our bench. And so we were in the weight room and in the gym almost every day. And, yeah, I just felt like that was they have a huge impact on our team and winning, and I'm just real proud of them.
Blake Fitch, obviously this question's for you. We played well, beat a good Waverly team, and it kind of to me almost looked like you and Cage Alexander in terms of where you are now and where he is right now. Just kind of talk about how he's got time to grow into the type of player that you are now, and what that journey's like. Because as a freshman point guard, it's not always easy. But the ball's in your hands constantly, and you're in charge of so many things at such a young age. For me, being able to sit up in the stands and kind of watch that from the top, looking down, seeing a young freshman point guard here and seeing basically a veteran player of the year type point guard now, just kind of talk about that journey from there to where you are right now.
Cage, he's definitely a great player, especially all the great things he's done as a freshman, but as a freshman point guard, it's definitely really, really tough, and you just gotta roll with it, and it's not gonna be easy all the time. And I think we really showed our experience and toughness playing against him, and we kind of, got him out of his groove, and you could tell he was definitely nervous. As we were all nervous, but he was just kind of shaken up, and that definitely comes with the lack of experience, but he definitely has a bright future, but he'll definitely be a great player.
Yeah, I think, we've talked to a few different coaches tonight about the teams that are still playing in March, the best of the best, and that's where we are, boys, a Sweet 16, girls Final Four. I think the one thing that kind of stands out to me is these teams that are still playing, they can play multiple ways. You guys can play up and down the court. You can press. We've seen you do that a lot this year. Or you can also play in the half court. And, just talk about, like, what going into the game, you kind of know, hey, I'm going to play this way or that way. And it's like you got something to draw back on because you guys have played multiple ways. Just talk about, some of the games you played this year that you can draw back on as maybe you're getting ready to face, this River Valley team, 23-2. What type of game are we looking to play when we play these guys?
This whole season we've played some competitive teams. Zane Trace twice, a good Fairfield Leesburg team. Jackson was a really solid team, and those are the kind of games that you prepare for and you really think about your defensive side of the game. Just going into this, the River Valley is a good team. They play really up-tempo, and they push it in transition. So our focus is really getting back on defense for sure.
I think with this game, it's going to be a very fast-paced game. We all headed up to Otterbein University the other night, Sunday night, and kind of watched them and kind of just looked at their bodies and how they play. And they for sure play very fast, but I think our biggest key with this game is going to come out and be the aggressor. They played Buckeye Valley, and I think they just came out and were the aggressive team, had more energy, and they played very fast. So I think the biggest key is just come out and play how we play and make them match how we play.
Yeah, they're definitely a great team, but I think we match up well with them, and we have advantage of them. We've played at the Convo before, and they haven't yet. So, I think it'll be a good game, but, yeah.
Kind of just to follow off that question, talk about, like, how you guys have been able to play multiple styles and sometimes multiple styles in the same game. Just for example, the other night against Waverly, picked them up more in the half court. They were kind of dictating the tempo, not allowing us to speed up their guard, Alexander, by having maybe the Myers kid bring it up against you. But in the second half, our defense kind of switched to more of a full court man or zone type pressure that allowed us to dictate the tempo, where we had to play in the first half, make more of a half court game, but in the second half, kind of got some transition baskets. Just kind of talk about how you guys are able to do that and you're I guess being comfortable doing that.
I just think that we like to play at our own pace and make them try and adjust to us a lot of the time. We'll switch up our defense on how we're pressuring them a lot. And I think it really rattles a lot of teams for sure.
Yeah, I think in the first half, we started off very slow. We were missing a bunch of shots we usually make, but in the second half, I remember we had a timeout, and we all looked at each other and were like, let's heat them up. And we just, Caden Cutright and Jackson Zigfoos, they turned it up that second half, and I think we went on like a 10-0 run or whatever. And ever since that, I think that was just like a momentum change and going into that game.
Yeah, I want to give you guys a chance to give one of your teammates a shout-out here. I think the multiple times I've got to watch you play this year, the one kid that really stands out to me, kind of gives you guys like an energy boost when he comes in the game, is Isaac Coy. I feel like, man, he comes in and he just every loose ball he's after, he's always hitting the offensive glass hard. Just talk about what he brings to your guys' team.
He definitely brings a spark off the bench for us. He's a very athletic kid, and he just knows where to get in the right spots to get the ball, whether it's offensive rebounds or defense or just being in the right spot on defense. He really just brings a spark to us, and he can definitely change the momentum of a game.
Yeah, I think he kind of understands his role. Most people don't realize it, but the other night when we played Waverly, he kept a lot of balls alive, especially toward the end of the game when we're trying to hold the ball, chew some time off the clock. I think we had one possession. It was about 40 seconds. We were just running like a motion, and we took an easy shot, and he just kept it alive. And I was like, holy cow, dude! Like, I don't think he really understands like how much he brings to our team off the bench.
Yeah, he has great basketball IQ for being a young player, and he can shoot it, great defender, very athletic. And it's not just him. We have Jack Welch off the bench, who's a great defender, knockdown shooter. David Long gets rebounds, defends. Our whole bench is really solid.
Yeah, I think the one thing about him too that it just speaks about his unselfishness. Like, most people don't realize he played JV, a couple quarters of JV every night, but I think the one thing, especially with Blake and KB, is you guys are comfortable with him because he was your quarterback on the football team. So there's not really like a big disconnect. You're comfortable with each other. You have that relationship. You know where each other is going to be. What I'll ask each one of you this, so you can all each answer. What Blake Hoops? What do you have to do to be successful in this game coming up?
Personally, I think it's just keeping my confidence. The last few games, I think I've been playing just confident and playing my own game. Also, just playing to my own pace on offense and defense. You just got to play hard, just effort. It's really all it is. And if we can all do that, I think we'll be really successful.
Yeah, I think my key is to keep control of the paint and on the glass. It's weird because I also feel like I got to keep everyone together and lead. Combs was telling us the other day, he was like, when you get to the regionals, man, it's kind of just like sometimes you'll look at teams and like, how are we going to match up with these kids athletically and physically? But with our draw, I think we're pretty set. So I think definitely Thursday there's going to be some adversity, but it's going to be how we handle that.
My role just be another leader, just be the floor general, get us into all of our sets and all that, and just play defense. We all got to play defense. So if we just all do those things and all play defense and play together on offense, we should take care of business.
Has Coach Combs shared anything with you about, his playing days back when he made the Final Four and state championships? He talked about any of those memories?
He brought some up at practice the other day.
He doesn't. Yeah,
he says I don't like to bring it up, and then he tells the story. So I don't remember what he was talking about, but he was talking about how he was saying how sometimes it's not your night, and it's a matchup thing. And he said he had a teammate that scored like 5-6 points a game, and he went off and had 17, and they won the game because it was his matchup that night. Yeah, that's what it was.
My favorite Coach Combs story, he never liked playing at Westfall. I think he averaged, 20, 25 points a game, something like that, Coach, something like that. But
every bit of 25.
Yeah, we'll say every bit of 25. And he said how much he hated shooting at Westfall. Like, did you just not score as much there? Oh, no, I scored that much. Just had to shoot more.
Yeah. I witnessed almost every one of his games as I was, coming up through, and, you can't score unless you shoot, and he definitely did that. But no, just your guys as this is obviously the season's winding down. You've had a great season, 22-3. Maybe just talk about, I don't know, you seniors, maybe your most memorable moment, maybe from this year. Blake, you as well, Blake Fitch. Maybe your most memorable moment from this season, or your most memorable moment over the last 4 years of playing basketball?
I'd have to say over the last 4 years, I'd go back to my freshman year. It was after Jude passed, and we played Piketon at home. And I feel like that game, he was helping me make every shot. And that was just a really emotional game for us. And winning that game meant so much to me, and I'll never forget that game for sure.
Yeah, I want to go with Blake. My favorite memory is probably my freshman year. I started off with JV, but I rode the bench on varsity and kind of got to experience what it was like. And I remember you put me in at Huntington, and you just looked at me and was like, go do your thing. And I remember I got the ball on the wing, and one of our seniors, Brendan, he set me a screen, and I came off of it. And I just remember it coming out of my hands, and it was just like he just touched it for me. And I scored 2 points that game, and after that game, it was just like, it's like he was there with me and just walked off the court with me. So that was probably my favorite memory so far.
My favorite this year is probably just running out on the convo floor for the first time with my friends and teammates. That was a surreal feeling. But my whole career, probably last year, Zane Trace game winner, probably.
Yeah, obviously all of those, great moments. I've been blessed to be a part of all of those. KB, you and Blake, you obviously talked about the 2 games following Jude's passing, the Friday night game at Huntington, and you scoring your first 2 points and feeling like he helped you put that one in. And then Blake, you talking about the next night, we've got to come back, and against of all teams, we play Piketon, where Jude was originally from. So just, those 2 things. And then, obviously Blake Fitch, anytime you get to run out on the convo court, that's huge. and then the game winner last year against St. Trace. That's always good to hit a game winner, and it's always good to hit a game winner against your rival. So, you guys, you two seniors have had great careers. Hopefully, we've got 4 more games in you we can watch, and Blake Fitch, you obviously. It's crazy to me because when you came in as a freshman, you think you have all this time in the world, and it goes by so quickly, and you're sitting here staring at potentially the next game that you come up short. It's your last one of your junior year, and you're a senior now, so it goes extremely quickly, extremely fast. But you guys have all 3 of you have done it the right way. Handled adversity along the way. Overcame having to have your dad as a coach, your dad's still coaching you. Those aren't things that are easy to do, and you guys have all done them well. And obviously, KB, you coming back from your injury has just been phenomenal, and this team wouldn't be where it is without you. So, you guys, best of luck, and I hope I can keep coming to the games. You got anything else?
No, I don't. I was just going to say, best of luck this week, and hopefully you guys get a win, 2 wins, and get 2 wins. We'll have another show next week and have you back. So,
yep.
Thanks for taking your time tonight to come in and talk to us. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to try to get another coach lined up on the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show. Welcome back to the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show by Sosa. We've got one more coach lined up for the evening. We have Fairland girls basketball coach John Buchanan. His Lady Dragons come in at 21-5 and are in the Final Four this weekend, Coach. And I guess the one thing, first of all, a big congratulations to you guys getting back to the state tournament. Seems like you guys are there almost every year, but you're facing off against a team that you're pretty familiar with. You've played twice already this year, Portsmouth from the OVC.
Yes. First of all, thank you. Obviously, an honor to be back in. Our kids are excited. Our families are really excited in our community. So we're definitely pretty there.
I think the one thing, maybe hopefully, you and your kids, your families, your community down there, they don't take things like this for granted because, you guys, you do get there, it seems like all the time here recently, but it's so special to reach this stage, to get to that Final Four. And, I just remember like growing up, it was like my dream. Hey man, I just want to get to that Final Four. And it's just a special time of the year. And, it's just awesome to still be playing basketball in March, I guess. So.
Yeah, I told my wife there that I was excited to be playing March basketball again. That was Saturday was our regional final game, March 1st. And anytime you can be, especially in girls basketball, anytime you can be playing in March, it means that you've made the regional, if not the state tournament. So absolutely excited to be a part of it. And like you said, I agree with what you said from a standpoint of you never want to take things for granted. I know, like my year class, for example, my juniors has never not been in the state tournament. So I was teaching them on Saturday just about how, like, I know this seems like old hat to you, but this is not normal, and just make sure you're cherishing every single moment of it.
Yeah, Coach. And I've talked to a couple coaches this week. Now that there's less games left, so it seems like more practice time. How are you guys going to take this week and a full week of practice? That's probably not something you've had since maybe over Christmas break or in the preseason, and kind of lay that out for us heading into this final weekend.
I think it gives us a little more time I'll be honest with you. First of all, back when I started maybe around a decade ago, it seemed like between district finals and district finals, we had a week. We used to have that week. Mm-hmm. We play I can remember maybe play on like a Thursday night, Saturday afternoon, and not playing the final to the following Saturday.
Yeah, right.
And
then it was all of a sudden like they squeezed the regional in 2 days. Yeah.
Yes, but kind of has that feel, and I mean, you can watch a little more film now. Like today, we just drilled some offensive actions that we really think are going to be important for us, and we conditioned today because you can kind of go ahead and continue to do a little bit now because I can go ahead and wear them out the next few days because I don't have to worry about them playing for a week. So.
Yeah, Coach. I mean, obviously you're playing a team you're familiar with, Portsmouth. That they have knocked you off twice this year. Second game, obviously, was a lot closer, 47-35. It's the old adage is it's tough to beat a team 3 times, and I think the one thing is you're familiar with them, but to add on to that, you guys have played a really tough non-conference schedule, and I feel like your girls have been there. Portsmouth has too, but your girls have been there, and they played against teams, a lot of different style of teams, and your girls are ready for whatever the challenge is.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely tried to put together a really hard cover schedule, which we did. 3 of our losses are out of our league, and we have some really big wins outside of our conference. As far as the whole, it's hard to beat a team 3 times, we haven't proven to be able to beat them once. So
that's all you got to do. This is the one that matters, though, right?
yeah, I reckon.
Yeah, that'd be my message, Coach. You just tell your girls you're not playing a 7-game series where you're down 0-2. You got to beat them once. You got to beat them one time. You got to be 1 point better for 32 minutes, and whatever you can do to do that, make sure that you know you're doing it. So, yeah, I got to ask this, Coach. You know, the last 3 years making it to the Final Four, what you're doing is working. Is there anything that maybe you've learned over the last couple years that maybe you might look at changing or switching up heading into this weekend?
You know, I mean, I just more and more every year I'm in it, just really trying to allow the kids to enjoy the experience. And obviously it's a super important game. I mean, like when you get to this stage, maybe it's the most important game in history and most important game these kids have ever played in their life. But also feel like you try not to make it too big because it is still a basketball game and they have to be able to play with the free minds and big play. So I think that you also got to take it into consideration that, hey, these are teenage kids in a basketball game and we need them to play really well, not be tense, and, you know, just enjoy the moment.
Coach, do you feel like, you know, a couple of your players, you know, the Godby girl, and I think you got a couple other returning that have been to the Final Four a few times, have played in it. Do you feel like maybe there's a bit more like confidence in your girls this year, just getting back to that level for a second and third time?
Yeah, absolutely. I think kids are. I mean, you know, we lost 2 good kids off of last year's team that are playing Division II basketball right now and playing on good teams. But our kids expected to back. Our kids expected to, you know, play a really hard schedule to prepare us for the tournament. And so, yeah, I mean, I think our kids have obviously not just familiarity, but just the expectation of, hey, this is we're built to play well in the tournament, and everything we do during the season gears us to being our very best when we get to February and March.
I'm not going to ask you, to put out your whole game plan or anything, but I do want to ask you this. What's maybe 1 or 2 things that you guys need to do well this week to be successful?
You know, I feel like Portsmouth, like, first of all, I feel like they just played amazing defense all year long. You know, in the 2 games we played them, I think we scored, like you said, 35, and maybe the first time scored like in the high 40s. It's very hard for 50 points against them. And that's proven for not just us, everybody they play. They just do a really good job defensively. So first of all, just can you get good shots each time down the floor? Can you maybe get some second chance shots? I think those are huge keys, is just getting good shots and getting some second chance shots. And then defensively, I mean, I think a big part of it is any game plan, you want to take away the things they do best, and they do a lot of things really well. You know, they don't have the record they have, and they played a wonderful non-schedule too. So you got to try to take away the things they do best, limit that as much as you can, and I mean, that's the game plan. Not that wouldn't be the game plan every other game play, but that's what we're thinking.
Well, Coach, we won't keep you too much longer. It's almost 10 o'clock here, but we really appreciate you staying up on a school night with us and taking time to talk about your team. And just want to say congratulations on another outstanding season. You know, 3 times at the Final Four. You know, people just want to get there once, and you guys are all doing it the right way. And we wish you nothing but the best of luck this weekend, and hopefully we can talk to you again the following week.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
It's honestly, all joking aside, talk about not wanting to give out your game plan. It's a shame those 2 have to square off in the Final Four. I really feel like that could be the state championship game.
Right, and you think about it too. Typically, Fairland was in Uniota's bracket,
yes,
right? And Uniota was D3 this year, and Fairland not only dropped to D4, they fell
D5.
to D5. And part of me thinks that if they could have just stayed D4, you avoid a matchup with Portsmouth.
Yeah.
And
you get like a Fairfield Union, who's really good also. They're
honestly,
undefeated,
but it's not someone that you see all the time, and but then you look at the other side of that is we know what we're getting ourselves into.
Yeah.
You know, so you should be comfortable with that. So there's a lot of plus and minuses to it. You mean you got to beat good teams to be the state champion anyway, and it's just weird how that kind of all shook out.
Yeah, and you kind of you hit it on earlier when we were talking to him. All it takes is one time.
Yeah,
right? It doesn't matter. You could lose 99 times out of 100. It just takes one. You know, if let's say Portsmouth has a bad shooting day. That's that one
That's
time
it.
out of 100. And that's the beautiful thing about tournament basketball.
Right, and it's I can remember. Well, the last time we won a district title, we had to go through Logan Elm at Logan Elm. It was back when it was COVID, and I was like, what am I going to say to these guys? Because Logan Elm was in the regional the year before, and COVID hit, stopped them.
Yeah,
we're the 7th seed going to Logan Elm, and I said, I just remember watching that movie Miracle, and Herb Brooks said, tonight's our night. It doesn't have to.
Yep.
It might not have been our night the rest of the season, but tonight is our night. Like, you just have to have one night.
Yep.
And memories are made from opportunities, and these girls have given themselves an opportunity to make some really big memories.
Absolutely. Well, we're gonna wrap it up tonight. I thought we had a really good show. Got to talk to obviously a lot of good coaches, good players. That's what you get when you get down to March. We had Coach Hughes from Portsmouth Lady Trojans basketball, Coach Shoemaker from Minford, Coach Ader from Chesapeake, Coach Lice from Beaver Eastern, Coach Buchanan we just had from Fairland, and then we just had Blake Hoops, KB Perkins, and Blake Fritch from Unioda.
Plus we had all the Minford guys, seniors on there with Shoemaker. So, it was fun. It was a fun night. Talked to a lot of good players and a lot of really good coaches. So
we did. I think what the plan is going forward is, if we've got a boys team that makes it to the state, we'll probably have at least one more show. Maybe talk to them and do a wrap-up show for the whole year of basketball. And if we end up getting a state champion for girls basketball, maybe it'd be nice to get one of those, maybe a coach or a couple players down for that also. So thanks to all the coaches and players that talked to us tonight, and thanks to all of our viewers for tuning in and listening to us. And we'll look forward to seeing you again next week. Thanks.